Welcome to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. It's your opportunity to learn more about your garden and your yard, about dealing with pests, and about taking care of the birds. You can be part of the show with your questions at 395-1450. That's 395-1450. And now, from De Bruyne Seeds on Washington Avenue in Zeeland, here's the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
And good morning, everyone. We might get some more rain today. You never know. Always a good thing. My plants in my garden are appreciating the rain. Everything is growing like crazy in my garden. It brings along some problems with it too, but you know what? That's part of summer. We get all those problems. So we're going to talk about some of those today too, if we get a chance. But the phone lines are always open. 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. And I can tell you what's been happening at De Bruyne's this week. The beetles have invaded, and it's not John, Paul, Ringo, and George. It is the Japanese beetle, the European chafer, Oriental garden beetle, and the Asiatic garden beetle. They have come on board here. They are out to protect your plants if you have them. The Japanese beetles, they're the easy ones to spot. They're large. They're on your they love your roses. They love Rose of Sharon. They love hibiscus. They love all those things. So, but you see them on there. You can spray them. You can put up a Japanese beetle bag. It doesn't draw them off necessarily, your plants, but it might get some out of your lawn. You'd be surprised how many you can get in one of those bags. So if it don't have a huge thing, you might want to try that. But they are out. The European chafers, they aren't a bother except for in the evenings. They like to fly around the lights at night. They don't do any damage above ground. When they're above ground, they just come out of the ground to mate, and then they lay their eggs. So they're not a problem. The Oriental and Asiatic garden beetles are the problems. They are smaller beetles. They're not even a half inch. They're smaller than that. They're kind of a copper-colored beetle. You usually don't see them unless you're outside at night looking at your plants. They're the ones that you go outside in the morning and go, oh my goodness, what happened to my fill in the blank? Because they will just devastate a plant. And it almost looks like a rabbit or some sort of animal was eating at it. They just eat everything except for the midrib. So yes, they are, and you don't see them, but if you dig around the plants in the ground, that's where they spend their day, down in the ground, you will see these small copper-colored beetles, and they're the ones that have just voracious appetites, and they'll eat anything. Usually, it used to be you put out geraniums and nobody really touched them. These guys will just devour a geranium. So, just watch out for them. Spray if needed. We do have some things that will help if you're on your roses or some of your flowering plants. You can use the Bare Rose and Floral on your plant. I think you can spray that once a month. That works well. If you also have problems with maybe some black spot or something else, plus these beetles, you can spray the BioAdvanced 3-in-1, and it will take care of the insects, it will take care of diseases, and it will take care of mites. So kind of a triple action there. It's a great product. And again, you only have to do that once a month. I spray that on my roses once a month, and also some of my other flowers that I know the bees don't really get at. So that works extremely well. So get out there, take a look at your flowers. Look for beetle damage in your garden and in your landscape, and take care of them as needed. Remember your tomato plants right now. Make sure you've got cages around them before they get so huge you will never get a cage around them. get some calcium around the base so you don't have that blossom end rot. And also inspect the plant and take off any suckers that are starting to grow on there. Mine have a bunch of them. I took a bunch of them off this week. And that's where, if you've got your main stem going up and you've got your main branches going out to the side, if there's something coming up in the middle of that angle, that's a sucker. Just take your fingernails, pinch it off or cut it off, do whatever you want. You don't want the plant sending nutrients up to that. You want the plant selling nutrients up to the branches that are good and that are productive and have some tomatoes on them, or will have tomatoes on them. So get those suckers off your tomatoes now. You can plant now for a fall harvest broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. If you want to do that, plant that in the ground now. Your kale and lettuce and spinach and peas can go in mid-August, but you get your Brussels sprouts and broccoli in right now for the fall crop. And, if you want, I would go around, especially with this humid weather, with your fungicide spray and spray some of those plants that are a little bit too close. My black-eyed Susans are too close. I sprayed them this week. Otherwise, they get powdery mildew in the hot, humid weather. If you've got some garden plants that are planted too close, you might want to spray them with a preventative fungicide. Remember, it's easier to prevent disease than it is to cure it. So if you never get it even started in the first place, that is, get ahead of the game. This is the time to walk out there and inspect things. So, and spray a little fungicide out there. I've been busy all week, doing little things like that all week. So, but get out there and do it. And also, there isn't much time left, but we need to get that BioAdvance season-long grub control down. Needs to be watered into the ground, but that needs to be put down now before the beetles start laying their eggs, because what it does is it interrupts that between eggs and the grubs. It prevents the eggs from turning into the grubs. So we need to get that up. We need to get that down on the lawn, not up on the lawn. We need to get that down on the lawn, and that will work really well. And also, what else can we do? Calcium around. How could I forget this? Deer and rabbits. I don't know how I could forget those. That is like everybody's problem. Everybody they might have other things, but they've all got a problem with either deer, rabbits, or maybe even both, or woodchucks, or something eating something in their garden, their bushes, their shrubs, or their landscape beds. Everybody's got a problem. I've been using liquid fence for a long time now, so I thought I would mix things up, and I am using the plant skid now. It's a new product. And its claim to fame is it stinks to high heaven. It does not smell good. It's an organic thing, and it's got a lot of blood meal in it. I can smell that. I don't know what all the rest of that stuff is in there, but it's horrible. I put it around my plants. I got the granular form around my plants. And it also, if you have a problem with voles, not moles with an M, but voles with a V, those little tiny meadow mice, if you have a problem with those, this stuff, you put it around your landscape bed, they don't like it, and they will leave. So that's a bonus. You don't have to put out traps or baits or anything like that to get rid of voles. And I know they have been a problem this summer. The plant skid is the thing to use. So if you have a problem, hey, come on down. We've got plant skid, and it is a good thing.
Does it take care of the chipmunks? Because I know that's your nemesis.
Well, I put it down, and I'm not seeing them where I put them down. Now, my front sidewalk, for some reason, seems to be the thoroughfare for the chipmunks to come and sit on my front porch and eat whatever is in those great big gold cheeks of theirs. I think they get the peanuts from the neighbors and come over to my house. So I'm almost ready to put the plant skid on the front sidewalk. I usually just put a trap there and kill them. But
Well, I'll leave peanuts out, unsalted peanuts
Yeah.
for the squirrels, and anyway, I've never had chipmunks come and get them. Usually, it's blue jays and squirrels the only ones that come. I don't have chipmunks around my apartment.
you are so lucky. Those things are so nasty. If they get into your garage, boy, they can do a lot of damage. So I'm not fond of those little chipmunks. They're my little nemesis, but haven't seen it where I put the plant skid down. So hopefully it will take care of them. I didn't put it down underneath my bird feeder. I didn't know how the birds would react to it. I know they don't smell, but they do have some sensory. So I didn't put it down right under the bird feeder where they feed. I noticed there was a little rabbit there this morning eating. But the birds seem to they don't really seem to mind. They're running around in the bushes like crazy. So maybe I can put it underneath the feeder too. But yes, it has been one of my problems this summer. I don't know why. It started out this spring bad. I never really got on top of it. They seemed to come before. Like my tulips started coming up. I didn't even know they were up out of the ground. They were barely out of the ground, and the rabbits were eating them. They really didn't have a chance this spring. They just were. The rabbits were horrible. And I know some people have deer that are eating their bushes like crazy, their hostas. The plant skid seems to be working, so knock on wood, but it seems to be working. My weed of the week, it is ground ivy. That is a problem because it's got that waxy leaf on it, and you can spray it or put, granule weed killer down, and it doesn't stick to. It's like putting something on Teflon. It just rolls right on off. So if you're going to spray them, and we suggest that you use a weed killer that has tricloper in it as the active ingredient, but we also suggest putting a spreader sticker with it. It isn't something that's going to hurt anything, but if you put it in there, just a couple glugs in with your spray, it will work so much better. It makes the water wetter. It makes it stick to the leaf. So actually, you've got you get that weed killer on your leaf surface for a lot longer. So spreader sticker should be something everybody has in their garage, and you should be using it when you're putting down any kind of weed killer because it really does enhance it and make it work much better. Farmers have used it for ages. A lot of times they used to use an oil. I don't think it's an oil base that we use, and it actually, there's some that have actually colorant in it so you can see where you've sprayed. I don't know if you necessarily have to do that. You can just watch where it's wet, but for me that works well. We need to stop and have a listen to some of these wonderful sponsors, and we will be right back with the Garden Show once that happens.
OK Tire stores are here to keep your vehicle running smooth as we head through summer. They've been fixing cars for decades, in fact all the way back to 1965. With years of outstanding service fixing tires and more, you've come to depend on OK Tire. With this much experience, they know what they're looking for and are well versed on the latest tech and tools to keep your vehicle running at its best. OK Tire stores also does more than just tires. They can handle computer diagnostics, heating systems, alignments, suspension work, even your air conditioning. Yes, it's that time of the year, and you'll be hitting the road soon. OK Tire stores offer efficient and thorough assistance, and their technicians work hard to give honest feedback about what your car really needs. So trust OK Tire stores to provide friendly and professional service, and to help keep your car, truck, or SUV running smooth all year long. You can find OK Tire stores in Holland, Hamilton, and Zeeland, and also on Facebook. Need an oil change? You'll find a $5 off oil change coupon at oktirestores.net.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from DeBrine Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, Here's Jan Meeuwsen.
Okay, we are back. Phone lines are open, 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call. Squash bugs are making their appearance in the area lawns, or not area lawns, but the area gardens right now. They're kind of a triangular shaped bug. They're gray. The nymphs are small with black legs, and the adults are larger, and if you smash one, they have kind of an unpleasant odor to it. They can cause a lot of damage on your squash, any cucurbit like a pumpkin or cucumber or anything like that. If you see them, you need to get rid of them. I know some people will just like to squash them or, push them off into a bucket of sudsy water, but there can be hundreds of them. And make sure to look underneath all of the leaves for the little round eggs that are underneath there. Scrape them off into the sudsy water too, or you can spray that. You can spray them with neem or something like that, but remember you got to get underside of the leaf as well as on top of the leaf. You're going to have to spray it quite often, or you can take one of the like the bifenthrin or cyflurthrin and spray your squash plants with that. It will last much longer. Do a lot more reasonable kill. You don't have that huge footprint over your garden for spraying every couple of days. Bifenthrin should take care of it for a month. But your choice. You can get rid of them any way you want. It is a hassle to try pick them off. I will tell you that right now. There are so many of them. It's kind of like Colorado potato beetles. You think, there aren't many. You can just push them off into some hot sudsy water until you really get down in the potatoes and you notice how many of them there are. And if you turn over the leaves, you will find all those little yellow bumps. Those are all eggs that will start hatching anytime. So you need to scrape those off too if you're just going to, do the hand picking method, or you can spray them also. But they are out there right now too. Just fun little bugs out in the garden right now. If you can live with a little bit of them, then you might get some beneficial ones that might eat them. Or, you might not. You never know. It's up to you. Aphids are still a problem. People are still calling me with aphid problems. If you've got it just in one plant, you can take the hose and just spray them off. But just remember, in 1 to 2 weeks, all the eggs that they laid will start hatching and you'll get even more of them. So you got to remember, you got to keep on top of the aphid problem. If you see a lot of, ants heading over to one particular plant and it's got kind of sticky, it's aphids that are on there. The ants love that sticky honeydew that the aphids leave, and they will come and take that off there. It's not the ants doing the problem. It's the aphids doing the problem. They're a soft-shelled insect. Almost anything will kill them. You can use pyrethrins, whatever you want, to kill them. That will work. Just remember, I want you to put insecticides down early morning or in the evening. I don't want you to put it down in the middle of the day because the bees are out. I want you to do it on a very non-windy day, very calm day, because I don't want it to spread. And I don't care how organic it is and how safe this is. Everything kills bees. Just keep that in mind. Everything will kill a bee. And I only want you to spray the foliage of the plant. I do not want you to spray the flowers. That's where the bees are going to come in and land and take off. I don't want you to spray the flowers. You can spray all the leaves that you want. I don't care. And again, do it before the bees come out, and hopefully it's dry when the bees are flying around. But do not do the flowers. If the insects are in the flowers, just pink off the flowers. They won't be in every flower, I'm hoping. But you can spray the leaves. The insects usually walk over it, and that should kill them. So don't spray the flowers. Let's be nice to the bees. That's a big thing right now. Everybody's noted with the humid weather, people are noticing more lawn diseases right now. Dollar spot seems to be the big one this week, along with some red thread, more dollar spot. That's when you get spots in the lawn. And, they start out small and they get bigger and bigger, kind of circular spots. And they might kind of grow together. That's usually dollar spot. You need to put a fungicide down to clear that up this year. So if you do have that, and it just thrives in hot, humid weather. It's a little humid out today. Not that hot, but tomorrow will probably be hotter. And, it's just perfect for stress on our cool season grasses, and it's just right for those lawn diseases to come in. If you don't want this to happen, if you want to prevent it, you can prevent it by watering in the early morning hours. You do not want any sprinkling water on your lawn as it gets dark at night, because that is the way that the fungal spores will travel from one plant to another, is on the water. So make sure you sprinkle in the morning. Do not sprinkle in the afternoon. And you just doing that will help immensely with not getting a fungal problem. And sharpening your mower blades so it doesn't pull on it. It will also spread the fungal spores. We don't want to mow it too short. You want to mow it high. That also will take care of weeds. If you mow it high, keep it higher than normal. And don't over or under fertilize your lawn. And dethatch. This is the perfect time of year to dethatch the lawn. If you have a problem with that, go ahead and dethatch the lawn right now. Just keep it as healthy as you possibly can during the warm weather. And then you hopefully won't get the fungal problems going on in your lawn. We have enough of them in our gardens right now. The tomato plants, everyone's got curly leaves on their tomato plants right now. Everybody, I swear, I haven't seen a normal looking tomato plant yet this summer. And that could be a lot of different things that are happening. One is just the amount of water. It has been so hard to keep the right amount of water on your tomato plants, and if you overwater it or you underwater it, the leaves will curl. If you're not seeing any spots on your leaves, it's probably, if there's spots, it might be a disease, but most of them I'm thinking are just the water issue, and the plants are under stress. So yes, that's probably going to be the number one reason. Or there is a disease called leaf curl. And then again, that's caused by inconsistent watering or pruning or any kind of stress factor. The leaves roll upward, and they can outgrow this. As the tomato grows, it will probably outgrow this. So it's not the most horrible thing. You can get leaves that are curling because it got hit by some weed killer somewhere. And again, this is why I want you to always spray your insecticides or herbicides, whatever you're using. If you're using Roundup or a weed killer, for heaven's sakes, don't do it on a windy day or even a day with a breeze. We want to do this on a really still day. All the weed killers and stuff, they pride themselves on these little micro things, when you mix it with water, it's just a fine mist, and they pride themselves on that because it goes over the plants better, but it also flies in the air much easier, and it doesn't take much of a wind to carry this next door to your neighbor's tomato plants. And tomato plants always seem to be the things that are hit with the herbicides the most often. So do it if you have to spray. Do it on a very calm day. Take your neighbors and your lawn into account of what's out there. You don't want this to be sprayed all over the place, because I'll tell you, even on a calm day, I'm spraying a weed killer. I take garbage bags and put them over my plants that I want to keep. And, I'm always surprised how damp those garbage bags are when I pull them off. So even on a calm day, I think I still get overspray. So do be careful. Be careful. It's going to be my big word today. Be careful with what you're using. You don't want to kill somebody else's or your own tomato plants, or some of your pretty flowers already. You don't want that to happen. Leaves could curl upward because of more stress. Always intensifies leaf curling. So keep the conditions around your tomato plants just as absolute same as possible. Make sure you always give it enough water. Take your finger, put it in the ground. If it's dry, it needs water. If it's wet, cut it out. Don't water anymore. It's easy as that. I'm always sticking my hand in the ground around everything. Does this really need it? It looks like it looks like that top layer of soil is dry, so then I'll water it. But if you stick your hand down in the ground, a quarter of an inch down, it's pretty wet. So don't water that. Do kind of get that feel. I know there's a probe that you can just stick in the ground and it will tell you if it's wet or not. What percentage. It's kind of a neat thing. But again, my finger works just as well, and it's free. I don't think there's anything in the ground that's really going to hurt me. Oh my goodness, it's time for the news right now. So we need to stop the garden show for just a little bit, but we will be back with the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show after that happens.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from De Bruyn Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, here's Jan Meeuwsen.
And we are back. We've covered all kinds of subjects this morning. It's been kind of fun. But the phone lines are open, 616-395-1450. 616-395-1450 is the number to call, not are the number to call. So there are lots of things that you should be doing right now. Deadheading your flowers is always a good thing. I went around my zinnias the other night and cut off all the dead ones, and my marigolds. Just cut off the top of the blooms. Your geraniums, whatever you've got. I know you've got some spent buds on there. Don't make the plant send out all this energy to shut down that flower. So just cut it off. No big deal. It will produce more flowers. You'll get more and better flowers once you do that. So go ahead and do it. I did cut down my snapdragons. Hopefully they'll come back in the fall when it's a little cooler out. I walked around with that little scissors outside for quite a while and got quite a few flowers. Some flowers are even edible, so you might want to think about it. Like nasturtiums are edible. Pansies, I don't think you have pansies right now, but there's an awful lot of them that are edible that you can eat. So, and then there are some that aren't. So just be careful. Know what you're eating. That is always the good thing. And what was I was going to talk about? Mushrooms in the lawn. Biggie thing right now, because we've had some rain now. The soil's getting a little wet, and these mushrooms start popping up all over the place, especially in areas with some high moisture and some low light. They will pop up. Maybe it's something to be thankful for. It gets you that it's something decaying in the soil, and it's sending up the reproductive part of it, where it sends out all the spores for it to spread around. But the stuff in the ground that can actually help break down organic matter, deposit nutrients in the soil. It helps the soil retain water with its root system. So it's maybe not the worst thing in the world that can come up in your lawn. But if you don't like them, knock them over with your foot. Not a big deal. If you want to take them out for good, you're going to have to get down there and cut them down right below the ground, and hopefully that will get rid of them. But it's really not. It's really not going to harm your grass, so don't worry about it. It's just this weather conditions that we're having right now. Just kind of, it's kind of conducive for that to happen. Don't put down fungicides. These are not fungal diseases. This is a fungus, but it's not a fungal disease. There's two different things there. So fungicides are not going to help if you've got mushrooms in your lawn. If you really want to get rid of them, you got to dig down, and you have to go out 4 feet from any side where it happens. Go down at least 18 inches. Remove everything, sod, grass, the dirt, everything, and then put all new dirt in, and hopefully that dirt will not have any mushroom spores in it, and you can go ahead. To me, that sounds like an awful lot of work, and if I see some that look like they're a little bit unattractive, I just walk over there and knock them over with my foot. Not a big deal. I don't know if they're edible or not. I'm assuming they might be, but why chance it? I had someone that thought that they were the death mushroom. We don't have those here. So no, they're not the death mushroom. They're just mushrooms. Not a big deal. So, just so you might want to just let them grow. They're harmless. It might do more steps, to get rid of them than is good for, it might do more harm to your lawn. So just knock them over with your lawnmower, with your foot, whatever, and that will be fine. You might want to think about watering less frequently to get rid of them so they don't come back again. And mow more regular. Short grass dries out more quickly than long grass, but the longer grass is more beneficial to keep out weeds and keep out the fungal diseases. So I don't know, I'd really have to be bothered with mushrooms to cut my grass shorter. So, and if you always see them in one area of your lawn that's kind of shady, well, you might want to, trim some tree branches back so it gets more sunlight in there, and that will help too. So that would be a fun thing to do. But again, don't stress about them that much, and don't eat them for dinner. That's going to be my big takeout from mushrooms in the lawn. I've got them in my front lawn. Not a big deal. I did get a report from the state of Michigan. There's another invasive weed around. It is the yellow floating heart on the pond. It is a yellow flower with 5 fringed petals, and the leaves are kind of round, and they're scalloped or wavy, and the leaves are about 4.5 inches wide. This used to be a very common plant. Used to be a lot of people sold the yellow floating heart because they are a pretty plant. They kind of look like our native water lily type plants with the round leaves. But this one forms such dense mats that no sunlight gets down, so there's no weed growth, there's nothing underneath there, and it kind of kills the pond, whatever they're on. So it's called the yellow heart, floating heart plant. Used to be sold, but not anymore. It is an invasive species in Michigan. If you think you have some, download the Michigan invasive species app, take a picture of it, and it will identify it for you, and it will also help you contact the right people. And we do have someone on the line. Good morning. You're on the Garden Show.
Yes, is now a good time to aerate or not?
It would be a fantastic time to aerate your lawn.
Okay. Just aerate it good so the water can get down through it now.
That would be a great idea, yes.
Okay, I thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't think about it, but yes, aerating your lawn right now would be a great thing to do, as well as dethatching it, so if you want to do it. So getting back to the yellow, the phone lines are open again. 616-395-1450. And I do have to take one last break here, but I will be sitting by waiting to start the garden show up once that happens.
Let's get back to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show. Call the Master Gardener from De Bruyne Seeds in Zeeland now at 395-1450. Once again, here's Jan Meeuwsen.
And we are back, and I believe there's someone on the phone. Good morning. You're on the Garden Show.
Hi, Jan. I'm wondering if you could talk about how to grow good lavender, because I'm getting conflicting instructions. Some say never water. Some say only if it's in a drought do you water. Some say only to establish brand new plants. Could you talk about lavender for me?
Oh,
and I'll listen. I'll listen
I
on the
will
radio.
definitely talk about lavender. The French style lavender, they grow that in basically rocks, and it doesn't require a lot of water. So if you've got the French style lavender, and that's the type of lavender they use for eating. The English lavender is the stuff they use for decorations, etc. That will actually require more water than the French lavender does, so it's kind of important to know what kind of lavender you've got. I had my English lavender I had a lot better luck with than I'd have with the French lavender. I know there's special soil that you can buy for the French lavender, and it looks like horrible soil. I even bought some to tell you how much I really wanted to get this lavender going, and it just really was not. And again, I think I watered it too much. I had it outside, and it was a normal summer here, and it really didn't care for all of the rain that we had. When you think about where it grows down in France, it really doesn't get a lot of rain there during the summer. So if you can kind of keep it from, being hit by too much rain, it'll be fine. And even when I established it, it really did not take a whole lot of water. English lavender, on the other hand, much easier to grow. It wasn't near as fussy as the French one was. So you really got to know what one you've got. And again, good luck with it. I do not have great luck with lavender. The English lavender, at least I can get to an adult-sized plant, and it will grow. I cannot get the French style up and growing. To save my soul. That is a hard one, I think. And we see a lot more French around here than we do English, unfortunately. Good luck. Again, if you've got the English lavender, you don't have to worry quite so much about the water. But the French one, yes, it really does not take a lot of water to get going. It really does not take a lot of fertilizer. It's one of those things that just does not, if you've got the right soil and the right conditions, it's perfect. But that's one fussy plant. So good luck if you have that. Good luck. That's all I can say. Sorry, I'm not going to be much help to you, but good luck in your endeavor. And I went to that lavender class at Windmill Island when they had it, and it was a wonderful thing. And I thought I was really going to take home an awful lot about lavender and how to grow it. And you know what? I'm leaving it to the professionals now. They can do it. I can do most other things pretty well, but I cannot do lavender well. So, okay. One more thing about the weather the humid weather has brought about a little condition called slime mold on your lawn. And it looks like fuzzy green or blue or gray, or it could be yellow or orange or purple. It looks like, you should be able to just brush it right off the lawn. It's slime mold. As the conditions dry out, the mold changes and produces fruiting bodies full of spores that cover the turf grass leaves. It might turn yellow for a little bit. It's not infectious, and it's considered one of those turf diseases that is more cosmetic than anything else. Fungicides are not necessary. It can make your lawn look kind of fuzzy and gray, or whatever color your slime mold is. And if you don't really like that, MSU Extension recommends washing the mold from the leaves, with just with a hose and just spray it on down. Or light hand raking will help get rid of it faster. It will take care of itself. It will dry up and it will go away. The leaf blade underneath it might be a little yellow for a little bit, but it will outgrow that, so don't worry about it. But it just looks a lot worse than what it is. This is one of those things that it will be, your lawn will look fine, and then the next morning you go outside and it's just covered in slime mold. We've had a lot of slime mold little samples come in, so I know it's around there right now. But don't worry, it won't kill your lawn, and hose it off if it really, really bothers you a lot. And honestly, it would bother me. I would be the one out there with a rake or a broom or something and just get it off the leaves a little faster than it normally would. It probably would take a couple of weeks for it to go away. You might be able to get it to go away, a lot quicker if you use the hose. So you could do that. Be fun thing. I was reading up on now a whole different subject. Reading up on feeding mealworms to my birds. I was wondering how long I should do that, and it told me to take some eggshells, put them in the microwave for like 10 seconds, crush them up, and mix them with your mealworms because it will help the protein. Because protein sometimes we'll get to the foam color first. Good morning. You're on the Garden Show.
Yes, Jan. This is a question about house plants.
Sure.
And some soil.
Yeah.
We have something that we got an infestation of these small bugs. They look like fruit flies, but they aren't fruit flies. And they're real teeny and fine. And we finally traced it to, I kept saying they're in the house plants, they're in the dirt.
Yep.
And that's like 7 different plants.
Yep, they're fungus gnats, yeah.
Yeah, they would go in the sink. You'll see them in the shower,
yep.
1 or 2. I've tried different things. We tried the 3-in-1 Earth Ally, 3-in-1 plant spray. We didn't know whether we should get fertilizer. Do we have to replant them all? Right now, they're all in the garage because...
Yes. Oh, they're horrible.
They are.
What you're going to have to do is, instead of spraying the plants themselves, you're going to have to put something in the ground.
In the ground.
We do have it. It's a thing that you mix with water, and you just water all of the plants with it, and it will kill those little fungus gnats that are coming up out of the ground and out of your thing. And you will notice almost instantly that they're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because this has been going on for a couple months.
Yeah.
What is the name of it?
I think Bonide puts it on, and I think it's just a house plant insecticide.
But something you would mix and put in the soil.
Yeah, and you actually have to water it into the soil, yes.
Okay. Otherwise, we were going to stop by your shop and the store and find out exactly.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll try that.
Okay, yep. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
All right, we have to say goodbye. This hour has gone by very quickly. I will be back Tuesday morning at 8:35 with Dan for the for the garden party. I will be back on Tuesday between 10 and 11 with Gary on Talk of the Town for the Garden Hour. But I will be back here next Saturday at 11:05 for the Garden Show. And until next Saturday, go green!
You've been listening to the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com. If you wish to hear this or other programs hosted by the Master Gardener from De Bruyn Seeds in Zeeland, check out the podcast section of our website, WHTC.com, and listen or download for free. The Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show is a presentation of 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.